Thank you. Thanks so much. Questions?
Your points are well taken, and when you're dealing with a corporation, that's one night to solve. I don't want to do this. But when you're dealing with a corporation, they have budgets, they have advertising, they have expenses, they have labor and all that. What percent today, this is not thinking that they're dealt with in the past, but what percentage of their budget should now be included to do this kind of thing?
You know, it's going to be different from industry to industry and company to company. But so I have a hard time answering it from a percent of budget. But what I will tell you is that if I were in a large industry, a large company, what I would do is I would take a single division and begin experimenting and moving forward with that, and then begin taking those same experiences and moving it out to the rest of them. Because if we don't begin making that move, we're going to run into trouble. And again, it's not just the technology, it's attitude changes, it's culture changes. I mean, there's huge things that are happening there. Anyone else? Yeah.
You talked about this being a lot more pervasive thing than just technology. Do you see many companies really tackling this as a very big pervasive project and tackling all these issues you're talking about in one big project, or is it a piece at a time?
The ones that have the vision and have the leadership that they should have are actually beginning to tackle it properly. And some of those, as I said, if they're really large companies, they're doing a division at a time. But you can't just take, this cannot be a bolt-on strategy. This can't be just something that says, okay, here's the strategy for my company, now here's the digital strategy. It doesn't work that way because it's so pervasive that it changes everything, even your organizational structure. So that's what company, I mean, and there's not enough companies doing that yet today. But the ones that are, I mean, we saw a 26% profitability difference.
Anyone else?
I had a couple of comments. These are kind of comments more than questions. I read an article or noticed an article yesterday, and what you talked about earlier about business valuations, that Spotify, the streaming music service, is valued more than the entire music industry. And that is amazing, and it's just a perfect example of your Airbnb example. And that's why Hollywood and these music companies are pitching the fit, because they're sticking to their old models of selling you CDs or whatever, and it's not. Content is gone. It's all digital. It's all digitized, and that's like you said with Blockbuster. They offered the space to go in there and say, nah, we're not going to go into that space, and Netflix did it. Number of devices. When you're like on the Moore's law too, like when you say, well, okay, well, how are we going to incorporate trillions of devices? But what you think about is, well, they're going to be smaller than we can't see them, right? But it'll be processors and everything in these devices that we can't see. They'll probably be in our bodies. That's something to think about. And then the values too. So you're right. Like as a society as a whole, like we don't have a vision for technology. It's all provided based off of these large companies, Google, Apple. They have the vision. They're providing us these products. But I think it would be responsible of the consumers, probably even at an individual level, to create a value system for how you're going to incorporate technology into your life, right? Because I think a lot of times we're just taking, oh, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool. But right, it can be so much that you're not efficient with it, right?
Yeah.
That's just my comments.
A couple of things that are going on. Google actually has created a contact that you put in your eye that has a sensor in it that can measure the glucose level of your body for people that are diabetic. Excuse me. I mean, you've got that going on. I didn't get enough into the cybersecurity, but honestly, the things that are happening there's so much to steal that it is so huge. I mean, I really encourage it. Did you have a question?
I was just going to just ask for fun. Will Apple Watch destroy Seiko and Rolex and all the other watch companies? What do you think?
I don't think so, but let me tell you what's going on with that. Not only the Apple Watch, but some of the other wearables that are coming around. where the impact is going to be is in things like the healthcare industry, because now I can monitor lots of different pieces of my health. I met a lady that actually, she said she's got an elderly mother that lives away from her and wants to continue to live alone. She's put a sensor on her coffee pot, on her refrigerator, on several other things. So she actually gets a text message if her mother doesn't pick up the coffee pot by 10 o'clock in the morning. And so she calls her up, say, "Mom, have you had your coffee yet today?" And her mom one day said, "Yes, I went to Starbucks and got it." But, so, yeah, David.
I was just going to make an observation, comment. I look around the room, I'm a little bit older, so I've been able to live through most of these phases. But I'm of the belief now, in every organization, you need someone that's a psychologist, for lack of a better term, because so much of this is driven by the human nature, and so much of it makes us each individual be able to become explorers, whether we're users or creators of technology. We explore new horizons, and it's coming faster than we can do. And the psychologist helps understand the customer, helps understand the relations within the organization. I think that's going to be one of the fastest growing professions.
That's a
in
good
years
point.
to come.
Yeah, it's a good
And
point.
Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed it this morning. Like I said, when we started out, the whole objective was to give you something that was out a little beyond the curve, a little beyond your normal thought process. We appreciate that. I would like to point out that Ryan Goss, who was sitting here in the middle talking about some of this stuff, has an unenviable job of trying to take accountants, tax people, investment bankers, and drag us forward through technology every day. He heads up our IT group inside our firm, and bless his heart, he has little dark tread marks that he drags people through this process. So we do understand, but I can tell you that we have seen it affect our business. In fact, I was talking to a recruiter yesterday, and it was funny. She said, "You're looking for auditors, you're looking for this." She said, "How much travel do you have?" I said, "None." She said, "What do you mean none?" I said, "We don't have to go out anymore. Everything's done with data rooms. Everything's electronically uploaded. Everything's moved. We don't have to go out in the field. We don't have all that inefficiency of travel and travel costs and airplanes and all that. It doesn't matter where you're on the globe." And she went, and it was interesting. She was the recruiter, and she said, "I had not thought about that." And I went, "Really?" And I said, "So I'll get back to you later because I'm gonna call somebody else." and I thought that was interesting that Ryan had brought us and helped us get to those levels. So you can see the impact a little bit everywhere. We're doing more today, I know, in our firms and in our entities with fewer people than we ever did before. And I think that's some of the same impact. Well, our next meeting is on May the 20th. Another out there kind of topic. We're going to have somebody from an organization here in Dallas called Halftime Institute. I don't know if any of you have heard of it. It's a gentleman who was very, very successful, sold a company, made a lot of money, and said, "I'm at the halftime in my life and in my career. What do I want to do to realign my personal and professional goals? And where do I want to go? Where do I want to spend my time? What do I want to do?" And I think it's, again, some of the efficiencies, some of the ability to live longer, do different things, that kind of stuff. And so we're going to have somebody come and talk about some of that. I think it should be very interesting. We will make sure and get the invitations out to that. It will be our last event this spring. We take a summer break since everybody's traveling and that kind of stuff. I laugh in the U.S. We're becoming more European. You'll notice that everybody in June, July, that time period disappears. Everybody's back to school in August. So we likewise will pick up August, September sometime and have some fall events. But we appreciate you coming. Again, please turn in your forms, that kind of stuff with us. If there's any other questions and stuff, feel free to stick around a few minutes. We'll be here. There is some time for networking, of course, before and afterwards, but we really appreciate it. Make sure and drop your certificates by for CPE out front, and we look forward to seeing you. Thank you.
Thanks for hosting.
Oh, you're welcome.